I can explain. It's the middle of February, and we're doing my January wrap-up. And Luna has decided to be right here. She is right here. So if the camera moves, it's a 70-pound baby that has been very clingy lately. But anyways, January wrap-up. It's the middle of February. But to be fair, January is the world's longest month, and February is the world's shortest month. But I figured we would just, give you my wrap up. I also want to give you guys, we're going to do my wrap up. We're going to do my usual music, media wrap up. What I did last month, which I don't remember now that I think about it. And then updates on my book buying ban, because I want you guys to hold me accountable. So we're going to jump right in. First things to start off, I read 10 books in January. Don't expect that from me ever again. I read 10 books because I read the entire Heartstopper series, which we will get into in a little bit, because, wow. I read 10 books, I believe. So I read 10 books last month, and 70% was digital, 20% was audio, and 1 was physical, which was 10%. Yeah, math. I really wanted to test my new Kindle Color, and that's why I was like, you know what? Everybody talks about the Heartstopper series. I want to read it. But I'm once again jumping ahead of it because I'm so excited to talk about it. But we'll start off. 10 books. Let's go. So starting off first, some of you saw my video reading this. My 2 best friends chose books for me to read. I finished this one at the beginning of January. It's The Lies We Conjure by Sarah Henning. I gave this one 3 stars. It's not a bad book. It just kind of jumps in a little too fast for me. And it's magical realism. And I feel with fantasy, regardless of the complexity of it, you gotta build it up a little bit, right? There's 2 sisters who meet this random old woman, and she offers them money to go pretend to be her granddaughters at this yearly dinner that happens with her family. Not suspicious at all, right? I always say that there's a lot of books that could have been a simple no, and then the book would have been over. Not this one. Yes, this one. It's so crazy because these sisters take the money and they live in a small town, as most do, and there's this creepy house, as most have, that everybody has always wondered about it, made rumors about it, all that fun stuff. And they finally get to go to this house and meet these rich families that meet there every year. But they're actually witches. The magic system wasn't too complicated for me. I just think there was a lot of people in there. And once again, the foundation wasn't really built to set it up for that. I did really enjoy the fantasy mystery combo hybrid. I love thrillers. I love when I'm guessing. Most of the time I don't guess. I'm a passenger princess in all aspects of life, especially reading books. I just sit there and let the author take me. But I did enjoy the entertainment fact of, whodunit, murder mystery party. There's been a murder. So 3 stars. I think I mainly did this one audio, and on my Kindle, I gotta stop buying physical books, which I am. And then I'm just gonna put them all in one spot. It's gonna save us a lot of time. But the second book I started and I finished very quickly was the first Heartstopper series, and then I said, you know what, Pixie, you're going to take this slow. I did not, in fact, take it slow. I read every single one of those books. I think I spread them out through January because, for example, after reading Onyx Storm, I needed something. I needed to feel something again. But I rated every one of them 5 stars. I love them. It's crazy to me how both of the main characters have better communication skills than some of the people that are my age. I really want to watch the show. I'll probably start doing that this month. I've been watching a lot more TV than usual because like I said, I haven't said that. I tried recording this earlier, but stuff came up. But in that last clip that you'll never see, I'm kind of in a reading slump. But I'm not going to call it that. I'm just not reading as much. So I'm watching a lot of TV. Anyways, Heartstopper series, so good, so cute, but still touching on real life problems that not just teenagers, but like adults face. You know me, I love young adult books. I don't care how old I am, I still love them. Charlie and Nick are literally my entire, like, they are just so sweet to each other, and they take care of each other, and they, for being a young adult book, it was very, like, their characteristics and actions with each other was very mature, and they learned and they grew, and I'm really excited, because I think she was only going to write 5 of them. But the popularity and the show, she's going to do, I think, 1 more. So that was really cool. I've read mangas before, but this was like my first technically graphic novel. And I did it on my Kindle Color. Loved it. It's, the color in Heartstoppers is just like mainly blues. But it still looked really pretty on my Kindle Color. But if you want a video on my Kindle Color versus a regular Kindle, let me know. I'll do it for you guys. And then I was sent the arc for Afterlife by Gail Forman. I was sent 2 arcs. One with Booksparks and then one through the publishing company, which is, I think, HarperCollins. Yes, there's a lot of stuff in this book that just fell out of me. I gave this one... Hold on. I gave this one 4 stars. Another young adult book. This is the same author who wrote If I Stay. Good emotional damage, like in all the right ways. You are following this girl who comes home. She's just a regular day. She comes home, parks her bike, goes inside. Some things are a little off. It's a little weird. Like, she doesn't remember her mom putting stuff here or there. Her mom and other sister eventually get home and her mom is freak out. Her mom freaks out and her sister's kind of like, whoa, because what's your name? Amber. Because Amber has been dead for 7 years. And you follow this story of this family about grief and how everybody kind of goes through grief differently. It was a really touching story. I read it really quickly because it was an easy read. 4 stars. If you like a good emotional book, but not one that's gonna like destroy you, but you want to feel a little feelings, this one. And then I am currently doing a challenge where my friends picked last year, they picked 12 books for me to read, and the book for January was The Spark of the Everflame. I read this and loved it. I gave this one 4. Last month was also a really good month as far as ratings go. Besides The Lies We Conjure, everything was 4 stars or above. This is a fantasy. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so if you want a good fantasy to binge. I was so sad because I finished the first book, and the way it ends is kind of on a cliffhanger, and then I had to start Onyx Storm. Physically, could not read anything else because I was like, I gotta finish this before Onyx Storm comes out. And I did. DM is the female main character. We follow her. She looks kind of different than everybody else in her family. The magic system in this is different. You have these magical creatures, or not even creatures because they look like humans, but they have powers. They are called the Descended, and it just is ultimately like mortals, descendants, and she's a healer and her mom has gone missing and she has to try to find out where her mom went because her mom made a deal with the kingdom, I think. Yes, maybe. And she thinks that they have something to do with her mom's disappearance. So she's figuring out what happens. I love this book. The aspect I love of this book is that Diem's dad is not her birth father, and he still really takes care of her as his own daughter. And he has, like, she has a brother that is his birth son, but nobody gets treated differently. I love that. I love that aspect of it, especially when these books are set in, like, older times, like in the past, and typically a woman with a child out of wedlock would not have, you know, had that luck, but she did, and I just love that because I resonate with that a lot. So this is good. 4 stars. And then I did the audio for, it's throwing me off because I put all of the Heartstoppers in one. So I did the audio for This Girl's a Killer by, Spark of the Everflame is by Penn Cole. Sorry. I did the audio for This Girl's a Killer by by Emma Wise. I think I mainly did it in audio. Did I read it a little? No, I think I did it completely in audio, and I'm happy I did because that female main character is unhinged. She is literally, this was my book club book, and I think overall we gave it like, I think I gave it 3 stars. And I gave it 4 stars. Looking back, maybe like a 3.5. Maybe it was 3.5 and Goodreads sucks, and we don't do halves on Goodreads. But I think ultimately my book club gave it like a 3 point, hold on. They gave it a 3.17, so that's usually good average for us. Unhinged female main character. Feminine rage, oh my god. She literally murders men who do bad things. Like, and I'm not talking about, like, shoplifting. Like, awful, horrible men. It is definitely a good book of discussion for, is this right? Should she be doing this? She's very put together, but she has, like, a second, like, voice in her head. It was crazy. It's hard to talk about thrillers without me spoiling it because I get so excited, and yeah. I gotta take a drink before we talk about this next one. The next book I read, Onyx Storm. I don't accept any criticism on this book. I'm just kidding, but don't. I gave this book 5 stars. I understand that some people were not happy with this. Like I said, I am a passenger princess. If I am entertained, if the vibes were there, I'm vibing. And I was vibing. Did I give it 5 stars or did I give it 4 stars? I think I gave it 5 stars. The beginning was a little confusing for somebody who did not reread 1 and 2 and 3, right? No, 1 and 2. There were a lot of people that were not new. A lot of people are saying that there were towards the like middle and end, but in the beginning, the people that Rebecca has put in this book were in the previous books. I know some of us don't want to hear that, but it's true. I found really good, and this is why I love the reading community, because I found so many good tools for people who did not have time to reread, or like me, prefer not to reread. They had like keys, guidelines. Here's what happened in book 1, book 2. Here are your characters. 5 stars. Once again, I can't really go into this review. I did an hour-long video of me reading this book. So if you guys really want to see what the heck, check it out. Because I don't know. I don't know. 5 stars. That was all the books I read for January. Like I said, read all the Heartstoppers books. I think ultimately it was a really good month for me. And I think that's why it's hard for me right now. I'm really trying not to put pressure on me to read. But like, for example, right now I'm reading an arc right now. And I think I have 40 more pages before I decide if I'm going to DNF it or keep it up. Because who knows? So ultimately, my top book from January is going to be Onyx Storm. Surprise, pretends to be shocked. Oh my god, wow. I read every single day last month, which is great. I'm very blessed to be able to do that every single day. Did I read 20 pages a day? No. Some days I read a paragraph and passed out. Because that's life. Shows and movies I watched last month. I watched St. Dennis. I'm obsessed with that show, and I'm praying that other people start getting on the bandwagon because I don't think it's going to last. It's literally The Office, but in a hospital setting. It's so funny. So funny. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Thanks, Kat. I binged that all in about a span of a day. I haven't watched trash TV in a long time, and I remembered why I don't, because then I'm like, ooh, gotta watch every single episode. It's good if you want some mindless TV. Then we started watching and are completely obsessed with Severance. If you have Apple TV, watch it. Thank you, Michael. The 2 shows my best friends recommend to me are polar opposites. Severance is amazing. You literally, and we binged the whole first season, and now we're watching the second season, and it sucks because I have to wait for new episodes. And every episode, when it's done, it's literally like, wait for all the smart people and then go read all the theories. That's a great show if you want. You can't scroll on your phone on that one. You gotta pay attention. And then we only saw one movie last month, which was The Den of Thieves, Pantera 2. I didn't see the first one. The second one was entertaining, but I am not like a high stakes girl when it comes to watching movies because I'm very anxious. Like I had to get up at one point because I was like, it was like the big time that they were gonna like steal something, and I was like, I have to pee. This is too much for me. But it was a good movie. It was funny. It kept me entertained. Video games I played last month, obviously The Sims, and then I got really into Planet Zoo for a week. Like way too into it. Like my elbows were hurting because I was just on my chair all day just playing Planet Zoo. I haven't touched it since, so. And then music wrap up for January. Top songs, August by Taylor Swift. The Black Dog by Taylor Swift. Lavender Haze by Taylor Swift. I think if I had to make a top 10 favorite Taylor Swift like song choice, I'll never do that because I can't. But Lavender Haze would definitely be up there. I don't know what it is. I don't think we will ever, like, I will never get that feeling back of October 2023. Yes, maybe. Whenever Taylor released Midnights, and it was one of the first, well, we didn't get singles for Folklore and Evermore, but those were just, she just released those into the atmosphere. But we did not get any singles for Midnight, so we had no idea what this album was going to sound like. And turning that album on at 11 p.m. the night it came out and hearing Meet Me at Midnight and it being Lavender Haze, I will never get that feeling back ever again. I don't think I ever will. And I don't think I ever want to. Because, wow. I also just realized that one of my lights, I never turned it on. Ignore that. So yeah. Why was I listening to August in January? I don't know. Also, The Black Dog is my favorite song on the Torture Poets. The Grammys were also February. We'll talk about that next video because I'm still, Top artist for January. Taylor Swift. Gracie Abrams. Noah Kahan. Do I ever change? No. January really didn't do a lot. I typically, like, on my Instagram will post, like, a whole bunch of photos and stuff that we did. I did nothing. It's mainly pictures of the animals. I dyed my hair. Well, touched it up. It snowed. Which you should know if you watched my Onyx Storm video. But don't watch it unless you finish the book. The Chiefs got to go. They beat the Bills in the playoffs. And to me, that was the Super Bowl. We're not going to talk about that. We won't talk about that till next month. I got into coloring. I've been coloring a lot. I try to do it at least once a week, Book buying ban. One of my goals this year is to not buy any books for myself, with special exceptions of books of series that I am currently reading, and if we go traveling and there's an indie bookstore and I want to buy something to support it. It doesn't have to be a book if you go to an indie bookstore, but you know what I mean. The books that, for example, like the second Phantasma book, the third book to the Powerless trilogy, I will be buying those from my indie bookstore as well. I will not buy them from Barnes or Amazon unless I get a gift card. I did get a gift card at the beginning of January, so I think I bought some books and I was like, ooh, I'm really wanting to read First Time Caller, but I'm in the line for Libby and I'm being really patient, guys. Really patient. The Favorites. I have that on Libby right now. I'll read it. I'll listen to it eventually. I promise, Devin. I'm trying to think. I did not buy any books last month. I bought books for people, but not for myself. Well, actually, it was a gift card situation. I had pre-ordered the Onyx Storm from Barnes & Noble, but then it snowed and they canceled it. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to wait for my Amazon and then I'll return the Barnes & Noble one because Amazon's a lot cheaper. But for some reason, they could not return it to cash or whatever. So they gave me a gift card. And I purchased Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I'm currently reading that right now. And then I got another fantasy novel. It's not Air. Hold on. and Ember and Ashes. I think that's what it's called. I got those 2 books with my gift card. So ultimately, I didn't buy those for myself. So I'm still doing really good on the book buying ban. You don't have to buy every single book that comes out. I know you really want to. This is also a message for myself, but you don't have to. Support our local libraries. Borrow from a friend. I'm going to the library today, and I'm going to see if the BK Boris and A First Time Caller book is there. I doubt it, but I might go to the library today. Stay tuned. You'll never know. So that wraps it up for my wrap up. I have read 10 books this month, which means my goal of reading this year, hold on, I'm all over the place. I don't even know what percentage that is. I've read 10 books this month. Oh my God. I've read 10 books this year, 10 being in January. I don't think that'll ever happen again. Unless I find, if you have more graphic novel recommendations that are going to be on Libby or on Kindle Unlimited, I have Kindle Unlimited for one more month. No, like a couple more weeks. So if you have that, like any recommendations for graphic novels, I would love to read them and get more under my belt. But overall, it was a good month. It was a good reading month. I don't know how January will be. I mean, not January, February. I have finished 1 book. But that's okay, because we're reading more intentionally this year. And that's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching my very late January wrap-up video. If you like these videos, definitely let me know. How many books did you read in January? Or how many books have you already read in February? I would definitely love to hear from you. Other than that, all the YouTube things, like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Our goal is to get 300 subscribers by, I think I said June. Yeah, I think June is like my big month. June, I want to be at 10,000 followers on Instagram and then 300 followers here on YouTube. So all the help matters. You know, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next one, hopefully.